pardon, setting target requests.
You got to get closer to the mic.
The Justice Department office. One second here. I will.
It's your connection, Yarrow.
Worst April Fool's joke ever.
Yeah. Worst April Fool's joke ever. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Go for it, Yarrow.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, without further ado, Justice Department expects influx of marijuana pardon certificate applications, setting targets to quick process requests. This was published today by Kyle Yeager of Marijuana Moment. The Justice Department Office of the Pardon Attorney Pardon says it's expecting an influx of applications for marijuana pardon certificates under the President Clemency and is setting a target to process at least 80% of them within 30 days of their submission. In a budget report for the 2025 fiscal year, the Pardon Attorney's Office said it expects to continue incoming clemency cases, both from ordinary case submissions and through the President's cannabis pardon proclamations that he issued in 2022 and 2020. Notably, while the marijuana clemency action was made to affect 15,000 people, the office said that as of February, only 100 certificates have been issued. That's because they have Kathy Hochul issuing them. An FAQ section on the Justice Department website says it's 184 certificates as of the last update. However, the certificate is granted to the only pardon conduct investigation to verify that the recipient was pardoned pursuant to the President's proclamations. Pardon's Attorney's Office said in its budget. In a recent request to the White House seeking approval to update its data collection process related to marijuana pardon certificates, DOJ office said that a reasonable projection is that there will be 1,500 applicants annually from the certificate. That means if they have 13,000 and they do 1,500 a year, they've built in 8 years of bureaucracy.
Oh, boy.
The new budget document also shows that the office target to at least 80% of the marijuana pardon certificate in 30 days. It's unclear how pardon is coming along to that end. It's been 1 year since the DOJ lost certificate application. So far, only 184 have been issued. That suggests that either the office is expected to swell in the
Yarrow.
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting you cutting in and out again. But we get the gist. We get we get the gist of this. So basically, the White House is gaslighting everybody, saying that they're going to be bogged down with so many petitions for a pardon because of the actions that they took, which no one is getting out of jail for, correct? And
no one's getting out of jail.
Exactly. And so we're gonna have our workload is gonna be so heavy because all these people are just like, what do they think they're doing? Like they're not giving away money, like PPE money again.
Is anyone in federal prison for smoking weed?
No. Well, there are people in federal prison smoking weed, though.
Totally.
There is that.
So I'd love to just sort of add some context to this. When Biden made these two announcements in 2022 and 2023, those of us who've studied cannabis policy for more than a minute recognize that this was nothing more than grandstanding optics, pandering to whatever base he thinks he's going to be able to benefit from when it comes time for re-election. And his vice president has done a fantastic job saying a lot about them doing. And so when these 13,000 eligible pardon opportunities came, to Matthew's point, we pointed out, highlighted how practical effect of this change was going to be little to none, and that most people who are serving time in federal prison cannabis are not serving time for simple possession. And that, frankly, nothing about cannabis has ever been simple or such that a supply chain would lead itself towards somebody having just possession conviction. And then they came out and they trumpeted this certificate and teased them on this show about like the certificates that people get when their kid makes the month and how this thing, we hoped it might have a little bit of gold foil or some embossing on the edges. And so now they've got this 13,000 maximum number. They've processed less than 200. They're talking about processing things for up to 8 years. And the thing that comes to mind for me is the way in which government creates its own bloated bureaucracy. Is there not a world to be automatically done through some type of automation, systematization, doesn't require any sort of interaction with the recipient, and they just get done and then shot out? Or like when you lose some money, the state of California says, okay, we've got to come to us. Awesome.
You're cutting again, Yarrow.
6 years later.
I'm high on acid, you guys.
Yeah.
6 years later. Can you hear me now?
No, you just we hear you.
Terrible.
And then you just cut out.
So the point is, these certificates matter not at all, and nobody is going to take their certificate and use it to get a better interest rate on a mortgage. No one's going to take the certificate and use it to get a job. So the certificates are of symbolic benefit. And so if we create big bureaucracies to process symbolic benefits, what has government actually done for the people who are most harmed and most impacted? And the answer is nothing.
They've gaslit them.
Yeah.
They've gaslit them, and they have chosen at the same time too to stand on all of their pain and suffering and try to proclamate some great grandioso gesture that is trying to help people that really isn't that big of a deal.
No, it's not.
What are you going to say, Matthew? I see it. I see it coming.
I'd just like to see them pardoning people who are actually in federal prison for.
Agreed. Totally.
I'd like to see Biden go after the guy who's still stuck in Russia for cannabis.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted, if they want to do some things, they could do some things.
There is some things. There is some things that they can do, and there's some things we can do too. And we're going to do that and go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.